Hey, this is Travis Hewer with Invictus Gymnastics. We're going to take a look today at the evolution of a handstand walk and the way I like to approach it, okay? First of all, I want to talk about the way to approach the kick into the handstand, all right? So it's really important for you guys to separate your feet. If you stand like this and you start kicking up into it, your body is basically just like rotating in the same spot, and it can cause your feet to kind of fling over the top. If you're really excited about the movement, feet go over the top, something happens, you start arching. And, you know, it's kind of like no-go from the get-go. So I like this bigger approach. We call it a lunge in gymnastics. And I really don't care which foot you put forward or if you switch your feet. If you guys are a competitor, I would suggest, just to save you half a second, that you start and finish on the same leg in every handstand. That way, if you kick up and you had to fall down and then start over again, I'm starting right away. I don't have to come down on this foot and then switch it up, okay? So just a starting preference here, I would want it like this. Also a starting preference is I like the arms down. And the reason being is like if you guys watch ice skating or something like that and people are spinning around like this and then they pull their arms in, what happens is they start rotating faster, right? So if I'm a CrossFitter at a competition, I'm all pumped, I'm up, and I kick into this thing, I kick a little too hard, and I get a little freaked out that I'm going over, I curl up into a ball, guess what? I was rotating in a big, big circle, and I just made that circle small, so that circle's now moving fast, right? So chances of me falling over and getting hurt are greater. So I actually like the arms down approach. That way when you guys kick into this thing, your body can actually get longer, all right? Going from a smaller circle like this one into a longer circle will make it a slower one, and you can actually adjust the speed accordingly with practice. Okay, so the third part about this starting is how I have my hands. Now we're talking about a handstand walk, not a static handstand where you're not moving. So I like the hands be turned out. Usually for people that are just learning this movement, this is a great way for them to start, right? As you advance and you get comfortable with this movement, it's okay to start with your hands straight, and as you take your first steps, turn your hands out to the side. We'll get to the hands turned out part. But for me, for somebody who's trying to learn the beginning fundamentals of the handstand walk, I definitely want you starting with the hands turned out. That way, when you're going into the handstand, hands turned out, your whole body's thinking, I'm handstand walking, okay? We're not going to just stand still. All right, so those are the ways that I like you guys to approach this movement. And now the next part is the push or kick to the handstand. A lot of people consider this a kick to handstand, and the thing with a kick is just like a catapult, right? If my body is bent here, as I kick up, that back leg goes flinging up and over the top. It's a little unpredictable, right? So what can happen is somebody kicks into it, they go down, and then they whip that back leg up, and all of a sudden I'm arched immediately when I'm in the handstand. Instead of that, I want you guys to think of it as a push to a handstand. So this front leg, it should lower me down toward the floor, lower my hips, and give me a shorter reach to the floor so I don't go clunking my hands down. So I'm going to reach down, and I'm going to use this front leg and press against the floor. While I press against the floor, I kind of got to squeeze this butt cheek, okay? I want that straight line from my shoulder to my back foot. Gymnastics, we call that a lever position. But I want the straight line from here through my shoulders and push with my front foot. It's a heck of a lot more predictable to know how high you're going to kick because it takes more effort. So you know the amount of effort, you're very familiar with it in your front leg. That knee can bend to help you get close to the floor, and then it presses for a consistent kick to handstand. All right? All right, and then the next step, I like people to just break the ice. If you guys have never done a handstand walk before, I feel like it's really important for you just to move one hand, just one hand. Okay, you're not going to die. Check it out. Just kick up and move one hand. If you've never done that before, you just got a PR. That is great. Awesome way to start the day, right? Now I move my right hand. I need to make sure the left one's not stuck to the floor. You know what I mean? So I'm going to kick up and, yep, left hand moves. So now I know that they both are mobile, right? So I've got one hand moving. I've got the other hand moving. Now I'm just going to shoot for 2 steps. So I kick in, 1, 2, still alive, feeling good about myself. From there, you start building up on that, okay? one of the skills that I really like people working on is called a handstand march. And a handstand march, I feel like the value of it is that you get to focus on just shifting your weight and not worrying about where you're going. I think that this is also a great way to supplement a handstand walk in a workout if you're kind of new to the handstand walking. So it just takes a lot of the variability out of the movement, and you can actually maintain a better body position. And what a handstand march is I'm basically going to try to waddle my body side to side on my hands. This is also a great useful thing to do at home if you have a limited amount of space and you want to work on your handstand walks or your handstand walk material. So I'm going to kick up. I'm going to try, I don't know, like 6 steps. So I kick up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I was shooting for 6. I just got 7. It was only 1 more, but that's a PR, guys. All right, and then moving on from there, like the handstand march, like I said, what I like about it is that you get to work on like the body positioning and all that. I see a lot of people when they're trying to do handstand walks just kind of teetering their bodies side to side, okay? This puts a lot of long-term weight on each hand, and as you shift your weight, your legs are going over. Now, if you give it too much lean, you're going to continue going over, and then, you got to get back up and start again. So what I pose to you is that you learn the waddle. And the waddle is just kind of like your feet should kind of generally stay in the middle of the handstand, but your body should shift side to side. So watching from this angle, just kind of shifting my torso from side to side, okay? What I want you guys to think about when you're doing this is just keeping that rhythm moving, because we want to keep the rhythm moving. When you stop, you have to reestablish that momentum to get it moving, okay? So now we've got the handstand march going. How do we turn it into a handstand walk? Now, one of the things that I mentioned before is turning the hands out. The reason why you turn your hands out, because your wrists don't like bending this way. And when I walk, say even on my feet, I lean and then walk. But luckily for my feet and my ankles, they bend this way. Now, if they didn't bend that way, it would be very uncomfortable to try to walk. I'd be putting my feet out in front, maybe falling backward, over backward a little more often. And so when you're walking with your hands straight, since we do have to lean to get that walk, a lot of people tend to arch. And that looks a little bit like, okay, my hands are straight, now there's the arch, and now I'm walking. Arching, over time, it bears a lot of weight. Your hips are turned, it bears a lot of weight down on the lumbar spine. It's very, very uncomfortable. Highly do not recommend it. Turning your hands out, I can lean over my hands, even like this. This hurts a lot of people. This, not so much. So if it's okay for me to lean with my hands turned out, I don't have to lean with my legs, I can just lean with my body, right? So if I'm trying to go that way and my hands are straight, usually arching happens. I'm trying to go that way and I turn my hands out, there's nothing stopping me. You may say, oh, Trav, well, it makes sense to have your hands straight because then you don't fall over. Well, if you've ever walked on stilts before, as I did as a child, there was no foot on the bottom of the stilts. They were just sticks into the ground. You keep your balance by taking those steps. If you notice when I did my handstand march, I was actually moving backward. I was just maintaining my balance. And with a handstand march, you can go forward, backward, it doesn't matter. Chances are, though, you're not going to fall side to side because you're laterally braced. So now for the handstand walk, starting here, going into it with a bent knee, push up. And now my hands turned out. I can continue shifting my torso side to side as I move along. So far, so good? We got one more thing. Once you start handstand walking, you get better at this. There's something that I recommend. It's a little more advanced. Switching your legs. When we walk like a normal human, this being an abnormal human, walking like a normal human, we swing our arms. Why do we do this? We do it because it kind of counter-rotates our body from the way that we're stepping. If I didn't do that and I went like this, it'd be very awkward and I feel a lot of turning on my feet. That would happen if I was just turning my body with my legs at the same sides as my step in my handstand walk. So when I do my handstand walk, I just want to switch my feet nice and easy. Now, when I say easy, I'm talking about like this much, okay? Like I'm on a Nordic Trek. So I just want little switching, but no leg bending in the back. That's not good. So now just watching my legs here. Now I can go faster. Switching your legs just kind of helps promote the next shoulder, the next step. Take the step and just keep going. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Drop us a line if you need some help. Otherwise, it's probably best just join the Invictus Gymnastics program. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope your handstands get great.